What's up guys, it's Marco from TechStream, and today I'm going to be bringing you something a little bit different. Now, I was able to get iOS 11 early, and it was announced yesterday during WWDC 2017, among other products and news. So this is available to only developers as it's in the first beta version, and with that in mind, you might be seeing a few glitches or bugs because it's not a finished product yet. Now, in this video, I'm going to be showing you what's new, and I'm going to help you decide whether it's going to be worth the download or not once it goes public. So, without any further ado, let's dive right in. So, I'm going to be starting with the lock screen, and you can see here that it doesn't really look all that different, and it's not really. But there's a few features that have changed since iOS 10. Now, if you swipe up like this, you can see your recent notifications among the notifications here if you have any. And then swiping left and right are the same. So if you swipe right, then you're going to go to the camera. And if you go back and swipe left, you're going to come to this screen. And it was like that on iOS 10 as well. So now moving into the phone, when you click the home button, you have a different animation. Now I can show you that again. Notice how it swipes up instead of just letting you right into the phone like iOS 10. So that's a cool little animation that's different. Okay, so now that we're into the phone, the first thing I'm going to show you is the new control center. So you swipe up from the bottom like usual, and you can see that it's redesigned. Now it used to be more of a solid whitish gray thing that you would swipe up, and now it covers the whole screen, and it's more transparent. Now it's also rearranged in that now there are multiple squares instead of being rows, and the brightness tab goes like this and swipes up and down instead of left and right, same with the volume tab. And then one cool thing about this is that you can 3D touch on basically anything in here. Now you can 3D touch on camera, calculator. Now the only thing you can't 3D touch on is the do not disturb, because there's not really much you could do with that. Now, one other cool thing about the new control center is that you can add widgets. And how you do that is you go to your settings app, then you go to the control center tab, and then you can add all of these different widgets. Now, what I think I'm going to be adding is probably the low power mode, and something like text size or screen recording. So now you can see that in the control center, I actually have these new tabs down here, and that continues for the amount of widgets that you add, and then you could just swipe up or down to see more widgets. Now, one other thing about the control center is that, say you're listening to music, which I'm sure a lot of you do, and you're used to iOS 10 where you have to swipe right a tab to get into your music. Now that's not the case here, as it's just in one of these boxes right here. Now that's something kind of cool, and that's mostly it for the control center. Now, Siri is also kind of redesigned, and what I mean by that is she does have a different voice, or I guess you can change it to a he as well. And down here you could see that this button wasn't there before, and at least it didn't look the same. And one of the new features you can do with Siri is that you can ask it to translate, and I'll show you that. Siri, translate hello into Spanish. Alright, apparently, okay, wait, now it's working. Alright, so it tells you what it is in Spanish or any other language that you translate it to, which is really helpful. And so this new Siri version is supposed to learn about you based on your behavior on your phone, which is kind of like the Google Assistant, and it should help Siri become a better personal assistant. So I like that Apple's trying to go in that direction, and we'll see how well it works throughout iOS 11. Okay, so now we're going to look at what's in some of the apps, and what's changed at least. So if we go into Messages, then right away you can see that this bar right down here wasn't there before, and you have some apps which let you do things like put stickers into your messages, like here, I'll pick this one, go ahead and send it. Alright, so that's cool. And then the App Store is over here, like it was before. You got images and any games that you've downloaded before. So say you have Game Pigeon or something like that, then you can go ahead and play like you used to. Now, another cool thing that iOS 11 has is that when you send a message, and let's just say I type H, want to send it, then you have the same bubble effects. However, you have a lot of new screen effects. Like, you didn't have this one before. If you go over, you did not have Spotlight, and it goes on. So you had this, there's some other new ones, and that's kind of cool. So now there's the quick type keyboard, and what that is it lets you type with one hand more comfortably. Like before, you would have it as your normal keyboard, and it would take up the entire keyboard. Now, you could switch it to the right, so that you could type with just your right hand, or you could go switch it to your left, so if you're left-handed or you're just using your left hand, you can go ahead and type more comfortably. Now, what I think this is similar to that of the double tap on the home button so that you can reach everything, and I think it'll be useful, but I might not use it that much because I might forget. Okay, so now we're going to go into another app, and I'm going to go into Apple Maps. And so what this has is that, say you're getting directions from it and you're on a highway. It tells you to exit to the right, but you don't know which lane to be in. What it'll actually do is show all of the lanes up above, and it'll show you which one you should be in. Now, another cool feature from the Apple Maps in iOS 11 is that it'll show you the indoor map of places such as malls or airports. And that's really helpful because sometimes you might not know where to go because they're so big. And another cool thing is that when you're getting directions somewhere, it'll show you the speed limits of the roads that it can, and that'll be actually really helpful. However, I'm not sure that you should be looking at your phone while driving anyway. Anyway, it's cool that they added these things to the maps, and actually I see that they added the weather down here also in your area. That's cool. So another cool feature when you're in a map like apps is that they give you a do not disturb while driving. So your phone can tell while you're using a navigation app and when you're going fast enough, and then it'll see that you're in a car and put you on do not disturb. Now this will block out all of the notifications that are coming through, and it'll put you into a dark mode, and the only notifications that'll come through are ones that you specifically give it permission for. Now this will be extremely helpful because people obviously easily get distracted by their phones while driving, and it causes lots of crashes and fatalities every year. So this will be really cool, and I like that Apple is moving in this direction. So moving on to another app, we have the Files app right here, and that's actually completely new to the iOS system. Normally it's on macOS, but now they added it to iOS 11. And basically it's like what's on your computer, so you can browse through your tabs, and you can see what's on your iPhone, what's in iCloud, recently deleted, and you can sort them based on colors like tags, which you can do with macOS as well. So you have your favorites and recents, and this will be really interesting for people who are switching over from a computer to a phone or an iPad, and this will help them get situated on their new device. It'll also be helpful, I think, but I'm not sure how much so yet because I haven't got a chance to use it and many others haven't either. So something else new to iOS 11 is that Apple Pay will let you send money to your friends. And this wasn't able to be done before through Apple Pay, but there were other apps, even Snapchat, where you could send money to your friends. And this will be useful if you don't have cash or you're not right next to your friend, and then you'll be able to give them the money. So I think it was a good idea that Apple added this because I think it's going to be pretty useful. And I don't have Apple Pay set up, but for those who do, I think it will be helpful to be able to send money to other people. So one more app with the redesign is actually the App Store. And if you go into that, you'll notice that it's a lot different in that everything is a lot bigger and there's not a bunch of apps listed here. Now if you go to games, this is where you're going to find most of your apps, but everything's a lot bigger and scaled up. And I'm not that big of a fan of this, but maybe you are because you'll get to see more of the app. And also in the App Store, you're going to be able to look at in-app purchases, which you weren't able to do before. And instead of just being in the app, you can buy them through the App Store. So to me, one of the more major changes from iOS 11 is with the photos and the camera. So if you go ahead and take a live photo, so there you go into your photos. Now you can swipe up and you have different effects that you can apply on it. So this to me is Apple trying to become more like companies like Instagram and Snapchat, who have different filters to put on their photos. And here you have loop, which basically loops through the photo. So here. And then you have bounce, which is kind of like the boomerang effect from Instagram. Now it just repeats it and bounces it. And then you have long exposure, which if it loads. Okay, so long exposure. Now this will be more useful for photographers in nature or maybe if you're in a city and you want to get a picture of all the taillights or headlights passing on cars, this will be useful for that. But I think it's cool that Apple added this. And so another thing in the photos is that they have a new codec. So basically what happens here is that all of your photos and videos are going to take up half the amount of space, meaning you could take twice the amount of photos and videos on your phone with the same storage space. And this is going to be really helpful to me, I think, and many other people who have issues running out of storage. So something else new to iOS 11 is that when you swipe down from the notification tab, you'll notice it's completely different. And it's basically just a lock screen, as you could swipe left, swipe right to the camera, and then swipe up. And this is basically the notifications on the lock screen, and the one difference is that you don't get locked out of your phone. So these have been some of the main changes and main features from iOS 11 versus iOS 10. And I hope you enjoyed the video because honestly I enjoyed making it, and I've enjoyed messing around with iOS 11. And to me, I think it will be worth the upgrade when it comes out to the public, because nothing really bad happened except maybe if you don't like the new icons or anything like that. However, I think all of the things that they added are good features, such as the new control center, how you can add widgets, things like that. And so basically what I'm saying is, when it comes out, I would recommend downloading it. And remember, your opinions on this may be completely different. I've just showed you most of the things that have been added, some of the biggest things that have been added, so you can make your decision based on what I've showed you. So if you want to stay updated on me between uploads, I would recommend go follow me on my Twitter at TechStream with 2 M's. And don't forget to go subscribe to my channel if you like this video and want more content like it. And if you want to get notified when I upload, go ahead and click the notification bell next to the subscribe button. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and comment down below what your favorite feature of iOS 11 is. It's been Marco from TechStream, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.